All right, the next step is to connect our Django project to MySQL. And to do that, we have to install a package called MySQL client. So here in the terminal, let's run pip-env install MySQL client. Make sure to spell it properly. All right, the installation was done. Now, before recording this video, I was practicing these steps, and there I got a weird error when installing MySQL client. And quite honestly, it took me over an hour to troubleshoot the issue. So if you encounter any errors, don't give up. Keep going. This is a natural part of software development. You have to be patient and determined. Just Google the exact error message, and I promise you, you're going to find something on stackoverflow.com. You can also post your questions on our forum at forum.codewithmosh.com. So in my case, it turned out that my installation of MySQL was corrupt. So before going further, let's make sure you have installed MySQL properly. Open a new terminal window and run MySQL. So we're going to connect to MySQL using the root user and a password that we're going to supply now. So let's type our password. All right. If you see this, that means you have installed MySQL properly. If you get an error saying MySQL command not found, that means either you didn't install MySQL properly or MySQL is not in your path. So then, depending on the operating system you're running, you need to research how to add MySQL to your path. All right, so let's stop this by pressing Ctrl and D. Good. Now, we installed MySQL client package. Great. The next step is to change our database settings. So we're going to go to our settings module. Now let me show you a new shortcut. Under the Go menu, look at this command. Go to symbol in editor. The shortcut is Shift, Command, and O on Mac. So if you press this, we can see all the symbols in this file. These symbols can be variables, classes, functions, and so on. So all these symbols you see here, these are various settings in this module. So if you type databases, we can jump to the database settings straight away. So look at our default database engine. That is SQLite. And here's the name of our SQLite file. So the project directory followed by db.sqlite3. Now we're going to change this to MySQL. And this is the reason why we installed MySQL client package. If you don't install this, you cannot change the engine to MySQL. Okay. Now we're going to change the name to the name of our database. This is the database that we created in the previous lesson. Next, we're going to set the host to localhost. Next, we set the user to root and password to the password we used when setting up MySQL. Now, this is purely for development, so we're not going to use this in production. In production, we're not going to include our password as plain text in this file. So later in the course where we talk about deployment, I'll talk about a different strategy for our database settings. For now, don't worry about it. So let's save the changes. Now, let's go back to our terminal window where we're running our server. You should not get any errors at this point. So your server should be still up and running. If you get any errors, then you have to stop here and troubleshoot. Otherwise, you should run the migrations so all the tables are created in our MySQL database. So let's open a new terminal window and run Python manage.py migrate. Okay, all the migrations are applied to our database. So if we go back to DataGrip and do a refresh, look, our storefront database has these tables. Perfect. So hopefully you didn't encounter any issues. If you did, just be patient and determined. Don't give up. I deal with these issues all the time, even with more than 20 years of software development. So our database is ready. Let's move on to the next lesson.